What's going on, guys? ChillisFM here, taking a look at Metagross in the lead in the Open Master League. Guys, I think this pick is really underrated right now. There is so many Dialga, Zacian, Xerneas, whichever combination of those cores out there. A lot of teams are ABA weak to Metagross, a lot of Dialga Lugias as well. So it put in a ton of work for me. Able to climb 150 elo, and that's including a couple games that I actually forfeited because I paired against players that weren't quite legend yet, and I figured, you know what, I'm down in the 3000s, the low 3000s. I shouldn't be here. You shouldn't have to battle me. So I did get those wins. So it could have been a little bit more gains even. But let's take a look at what the team is. So of course, Metagross on the lead. Normal moveset, Bullet Punch, Meteor Mash, which is Legacy, and Earthquake. As my safe swap, I am running Shadow Lugia. If you don't have Shadow, normal Lugia is fine. There's also other safe swaps that you can use on this team, like Giratina Origin is fine. Dialga is probably fine generally. You know, anything that's a good safe swap. The purpose of the safe swap is to try to fight for alignment on this team, because this is somewhat of an alignment-based team. As my closer, I do have Dragonite. So we'll go ahead and jump on into some of these battles. I got quite a few of them in here. So go ahead and leave that like and leave your favorite emoji down below as well. I really appreciate it. All right, so I am going to cover some of the tougher leads at the start of this video, starting with a Kyogre. Kyogre, we are going to be, of course, swapping out immediately into our Shadow Lugia. We lure out a Dialga. Now, this is where I really like Shadow Lugia. If you're debating on building a regular Lugia or a Shadow one, I recommend the Shadow. I've talked about it in other videos. I will link my other Shadow Lugia videos down below so you can see what I'm talking about. Your IVs don't matter that much. Check out those videos, though. I talk about it a lot more in detail. But here's where Shadow Lugia is really good. We can go straight Sky Attack and win against Dialga in the 2 shield. So we're going to get Switch here. Once they brought that Dialga in, I already knew I was going to grab Switch. By the way, my Lugia is, I believe, at level 50 with the Best Buddy on it. So it's 49 without it. I have the Best Buddy boost on it. We do get alignment here. We do have to watch out for a Blizzard from this Kyogre. However, they throw after, I believe, 7 waterfalls, which means it can't be a Blizzard. It's going to actually be an Origin Pulse, which I think Origin Pulse is the way over Thunder, 100%. Blizzard's the only other option. In the back, going to be an Yveltal. So this is not great. Our Metagross does not want to see this. But I'm going to go ahead and connect with the first Dragon Claw, bank the next one, and catch on Metagross. Dragonite should have high enough attack to win CMP against an Yveltal. Yveltal very glassy as well, definitely has a high attack. I think Dragonite can win it. So I am going to grab the final shield with the Meteor Mash. Their switch clock shouldn't quite be up, so I'm going to just immediately throw it. And yes, Dragonite does win CMP. That's going to be taking out the Yveltal. And all they have left is this low health Kyogre, which they're not going to make it to another move. And that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. All right, into the next one. Metagross into Ho-Oh, right? Nightmare lead. Nightmare lead. We can't even hit them for neutral. We are going to be pivoting out into Shadow Lugia, and there it is again, right? So if you weren't convinced off the first battle, you get to see it again. We're going to go straight Sky Attack here. We're going to build up to the Aeroblast, right? Because I want them to shield. Because I'm going to end up giving up both shields. So I want them to throw a shield up first, and at this point, yeah, we're just going to 2-shield through this. We're going to fight for Switch. This is, again, an alignment-based team. Most teams, if they have a strong answer for Metagross in the lead, they don't have a strong answer for it in the back. We're just going to connect with that next Sky Attack. At this point, I can just safely shield my second time and farm down. I'll also have energy. They go for the Draco Meteor. They were only going to get 1 move off, so they full send it just in case Tyranitar did KO, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we get the farm down. They come out with Zacian. I was always going to throw that Dragon Tail, right? So we're going to make it to the Aeroblast now, and it hits like a truck. Yeah, puts them into the red. They decide to eat it because they know I have this Metagross waiting for them. They're hoping that their whole up a shield can sweep, but Dragonite tanks a Brave Bird. So we're going to go ahead and build up. I tried to throw on CMP. I thought they would throw after 4. Just because like maybe they're gonna throw Sacred Fire and then go for the Brave Bird. They didn't. So I gave them a free Incinerate. That's not the best play on my part, but regardless, they still Brave Bird there. And at this point, I can just Dragon Breath down, right? They could have thrown a second Brave Bird, but I would have just Bullet Punched down as well. So either way, the game was over. That's the GG's. All right, into the next one. Giratina Origin lead. I told you, I got all the bad leads up front. I promise I didn't lose every single lead. I actually won most leads, but I wanted to make sure that if you're only seeing a few battles, you understand how to play these tougher ones. So I don't like to shield there. I do not like to shield there because they almost always have a fairy type. Almost always have a fairy type behind Giratina. And all we want to do right now is bait it out. And then we hope that Dragonite with a shield advantage can sweep. Now, we don't have a shield advantage here, unfortunately. We are going to shield up this flamethrower, so we're actually going down a shield. But whenever you see Giratina plus a Charmer, like not a normal fairy type like Zacian, you see a Togekiss, you know what's in the back. It's another Charmer, for sure, or at least another fairy type. So I am going to go ahead and pull a shield with that Meteor Mash. We are even shields now. They're staying in here. They allow me to get this Dragon Claw off, and that is huge because now I grabbed the final shield from my opponent. And I'm just going to let this go. Again, I am thinking it's another fairy type in the back, and there it is. Primarina in the back. They're going to charm us down, but that is perfectly fine with me because now I can just build up to the back-to-back Meteor Mashes with my Metagross. And we'll throw one into this Primarina. Even though it only hits for neutral, it will be enough to take them out. I don't know if this Primarina is maxed. I'm not sure what CP it's supposed to go to. Seems like the Bullet Punches are doing a little bit more than they normally would. But regardless, we were going to be able to take them out and just throw this next Meteor Mash into the Giratina. And that's going to be GG's well played to my opponent. So yeah, I mean, you're double weak to Charm in the back, but if you manage your energy correctly, you can handle double fairies. We're going to see a few more of those, or at least one more of those. I saw a ton of that, like, double fairy backline. I didn't include all of them because, well, it just gets redundant. So here we are. Xerneas lead, Lugia save swap. Metagross is feasting. However, we do want to keep some health on Metagross, so I'm going to connect with that Meteor Mash, and then I'm going to be coming in with my own Lugia. I'm going to respect the Aeroblast. Most people are not going to bait there. Just because of, like, I know I can tank one Aeroblast, but then they could start shielding, they could flip switch. So I'm going to go ahead and shield. I'm going to throw this Sky Attack before they're at their Sky Attack. They decide to shield another Aeroblast. I think it is. So, going to throw over a second shield there. Xerneas comes back out. And we're going to make it to the Aeroblast. So this is perfectly fine with me. We saw how much it did to Zacian. And it's going to do just as much to Xerneas. Like, Xerneas is not really any more bulky than Zacian. So it puts him into the red. They're going to be throwing some energy here. It's going to be the Moonblast. Did not want to get farmed down. So I end up swapping out into Metagross. In the back, it's going to be a Kyogre. Now, y'all are wondering, why are you throwing Meteor Mash instead of the neutral Earthquake? Reason is, if I get farmed down and this thing has Blizzard, that's GG's. So I wanted to throw the Meteor Mash, force them or make them want to throw this Surf before I get that Earthquake off. And now Dragonite doesn't have to worry about a Blizzard, right? They might make it to a Thunder if they're running Thunder, but that's perfectly fine. So they do try to catch there. They were unsuccessful and they top left. And that's going to be GG's. All right, another Ho-Oh lead. Did see a few of them. Coming in with Lugia here. If they stay in, try to get that Sky Attack off. Try to get the Sky Attack off. Now, this went through after only 3. Most of the time they do build to 4 to go for the Sacred Fire. I went through after 3, so I'm not able to shield. Again, if they stay in with the lead to chip Lugia, I don't shield because of 9 times out of 10, they're coming out with a Fairy type. And here's what's crazy. They let that Aeroblast go through. And now, even though my Lugia was so low from that Ho-Oh, I can just 2-shield this and I can Dragon Tail Xerneas down. We're going to go ahead and throw that Sky Attack there. That's going to grab their shield. That way I'm not going down 2 shields to 0 shields. We're just going to shield this next Moonblast. We're going to Dragon Tail down. Perfect. We got the alignment we need. We're leaving with a little bit of energy. We're going to be able to get this Sky Attack off. Not going to do a ton to a Dialga. Not really going to put them in Meteor Mash downrange, but maybe Meteor Mash plus some Dragon Breaths, which could be how this game ends up. So they're farming up here. And I decided, you know what? Let's just go for the Meteor Mash because they're going to have to throw their Draco if they want to do any kind of meaningful damage to Metagross or Thunder, whichever. At that point, they're going to be really low on energy and Dragonite should be able to clean up. So there it is. It's going to be a Thunder. I'm going to pivot immediately. And there's the hole. Perfect. We already know we can survive one Brave Bird, and they can't hold back-to-back moves. It doesn't matter what moveset they're running. They can never hold back-to-back moves. I'm going to eat that Brave Bird. And I'm just going to build up to back-to-back moves here. I end up throwing on alignment. It's not really a big deal. We're just going to get this Dragon Claw off, take out the Ho-Oh, and just superpower the Dialga. Dragon Claw maybe would have been enough, but no reason to risk it. We have the superpower, and that's going to be GG's. Actually, no, it definitely would not have been enough from that range. Well played. All right, Metagross into Mewtwo. Now, it's always kind of a gamble, right? What's Mewtwo running? Is it running Shadow Ball? Is it running Ice Beam? Is it running Focus Blast? I normally stay in, and I'll shield the first. 9 times out of 10, they bait. This one did not bait. That's great for me. That's great for me. They will outpace the Shadow Balls. So I'm not going to stay in there. I'm going to come in Lugia. Reason is Lugia can just tank this Shadow Ball a lot easier. And if they bait, that's great. But we're going to go ahead and no shield. It is going to be the Shadow Ball. And then they're going to come out with the station. What did I tell y'all? If they stay in to chip your Lugia, they're going to come in with a fairy type. They want to grab the shield and then come in and like kind of wall your dragon type attacks, right? We're not falling for it. So Lugia goes down. We come in with Metagross. We're going to take out their Zacian. In the back, going to be an Excadrill. So I'm sure some of y'all already are typing in the comments, your team's too weak to Excadrill. Well, you know, I saw 2 Excadrills. I saw 2 of them, and I included both in this video. All right, so here again, we are going to bait. Again, we need our opponent to be throwing energy. If they overfarm, we do lose. And they could have overfarmed a little bit more, and it would have made it even more tough. But Dragonite can tank 1 Rock Slide. Excadrill definitely cannot tank a superpower. We're going to do just that. We're going to go ahead and tank this Rock Slide. They're going to pivot out, and that's exactly what I needed. I'm going to go ahead and throw this Dragon Claw. I overfarmed just a little bit so that I would be able to outpace the Excadrill. We throw the Dragon Claw, we get the Dragon Breath down, and now it's a race. And yeah, we make it to the superpower. So we're going to be able to take out the Excadrill here, and that's going to be GG's. Now, if they would have just stayed in, forced me to superpower first, and then came in with Mewtwo, I wouldn't have been able to take out the Mewtwo. They would have made it to a Side Strike, and that would have been GG's. But luckily for me, they did decide to pivot out. All right, so Excadrill lead. Definitely not how I want to see it, right? We really only wanted on Dragonite, but Lugia is not a bad answer for it. So, and again, like this is where something like a Giratina would be better. But Lugia can handle it. We're going to go ahead and eat the second Rock Slide, knowing that the Mud Shots aren't ever going to be doing any meaningful damage. And I'm going to bait with the Skydive, making sure that I'm throwing on good timing, right? We don't want to miss out on any Dragon Tails. Every little bit of damage here matters. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and throw up a shield. This will be another Rock Slide. And there's the pivot. All right, so I kind of was wondering, like, should I throw up a shield here? They're probably going to pivot, and yeah, they do. But it's kind of fine because we lure out a Dragonite, which can't do too much to Metagross. Yes, superpower hurts. They overfarmed to the moon here. I thought they were going to try to throw it on CMP. Nope. Now we're eating a Dragon Claw. That's kind of worst case scenario. Luckily, they do not make it to a second Dragon Claw. We do get the Dragon Breath down. In the back, it's going to be a Mewtwo. So how are we going to handle this Excadrill? We still got to figure out a way. Going to go ahead and connect with that Dragon Claw. And we almost make it to the next one. They throw just before. Great timing by my opponent. I'm letting this go. They're staying in here. That's their mistake, right? This is opening a window for me to win. We're going to go ahead and shield whatever this is here. They full send the Focus Blast. Out comes the Excadrill. And they're below half health, which means Meteor Mash should be enough to take out. And not quite. One more Bullet Punch is going to do it, and that's going to be GG's. We had back-to-backs there. So, and Metagross also wins CMP. So even if they were at the move there, game was just over. All right, Xerneas lead. Here we go. We finally got some good leads, right? I guess we saw Xerneas earlier. This one's staying in. And I saw this quite a bit where they want to stay in, they want to close combat and dip. I'm going to grab the shield before they're able to, right? They're building to the back-to-backs. I can eat one. So we're going to do just that. We're going to eat one. We grab the shield. We have a shield advantage. They're clearly at least ABA weak. I go for the catch and we fail it. And Are you kidding me? ABA fairies? Oh my goodness. What does Master League come to? By the way, I don't have either of these Pokemon. I should probably be rating Xerneas, but I kind of like Zacian better. I'm kind of waiting for it to come back. Plus, I needed like save my raid passes for the primals this weekend. I don't know when I'm going to upload this video. GoFest might have already ended. If it has, then let me know how your GoFest went. If it hasn't, what are you excited about for GoFest? Let me know. Let me know. I'm definitely excited to raid these primals. And yes, they're here now. They're already here. But I just know there's going to be more of a community out raiding during GoFest. All right. So Giratina, we're going to go ahead and just eat this, right? Because we know that there's still fairies alive. And man, I just get outplayed here. I get outplayed. They go for the close combat. And I'm like, okay, they don't have that much energy. Let's open farm a little bit. Nope. Nope. Like, I can take a close combat. Nope, that's a Moonblast. So they take out my Dragonite, and now I have to make it to 2 moves against this Giratina before they make it even to an Ominous Wind, and that's just not happening. So yeah, I just got outplayed there, but GG's well played. He's well played, right? All right, into the next one. Metagross into Shadow Tyranitar, and thank you to Yonkis, however you pronounce his name, for putting out Smackdown Tyranitar, because of myself and Homesize Henry and Jamie Finn and most creators that I've seen feature Shadow Tyranitar had all ran Bite on it, and I stand by it. That Bite is better in the current meta. But ever since Jonkus put out that video with Smackdown, I have seen nothing but Smackdown Tyranitar. And I see at least 3 or 4 Tyranitars a day, which is wild, right? There's way more of them all of a sudden. But since it is running Smackdown, it pivots out. And so now we lured back out, right? Because of Metagross came in. Yes, they could have just stayed in with their Metagross against our Lugia. But instead, they do want to find an alignment for this Tyranitar. I go for the Sky Attack there. It's a mistake in hindsight, right? The reason I wanted to do that was because I thought they would throw before I make it to the second Sky Attack, but I might as well just build up to the Aeroblast, and then if they throw, they throw. Perfect. Now I'm expecting the Blind Brutal Swing. Oh, excuse me. Blind Brutal Swing, so I come in with Dragonite. And they paused. I'm like, no, it's still a Brutal Swing. Nope! I get one shot, completely one shot by the Stone Edge, but that's actually what I needed. Because of now, we just have so much energy here on our Metagross. We can just go straight Earthquake. They have some energy. They do have some energy. They have to make it to back-to-back Meteor Mashes. Meteor Mash will do it, but they don't have that much energy. I should be able to make it to the Earthquake. I wasn't sure if it'd be CMP, and I think it actually was. So 15 attack on my Metagross. Mine's not best buddied, but it was enough to take the win. So it looks like they had the hundo. It was coin flip. So I actually got lucky there. All right, into the next one. Dialga lead. I edited out so many Dialga leads because of it was probably half the battles. Half the battles were probably Dialga leads. But again, didn't want it to be redundant, so I did edit a lot of them out. Saved one for the end here. So I do like to bait against the Dialga leads. If they're staying in, they're clearly ABA weak to your Metagross. Bait them. They're going to shield. 9 times out of 10. Here I decided to go for the double bait. I don't always double bait. I do go for it here. And they decided to let it go. That's still fine though, because I'm going to come in with my Lugia and I'm just going to soak here because I'm again anticipating that there's a fairy type in the back. Yeah, they hit me with the Draco Meteor. Who cares? We lure out the Xerneas. Xerneas still has to throw energy before I make it to this Aeroblast, and that's exactly what happens. So now my Metagross is chilling, right? It's going to be able to take out this Xerneas. I'm feeling pretty good. And they do outpace. They do outpace, which is not great, right? They should be 3 away from the next close combat. So I'm going to throw in the middle of their third Geomancy. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And they decide to let go. Perfect. In the back, it's Zacian. Oh my goodness. Another ABB double fairy team. My Metagross is real low, so this is real sketchy. They go for the catch. They mistime the catch. And now the window has opened. I bring out the Dragonite. I'm hoping that they have Wild Charge, but it's actually going to be the Play Rough. Doesn't matter. They did not overfarm enough. We make it to the Meteor Mash. Going to be taking out the Zacian, and that's going to be GG's. Well played to my opponent. Metagross putting in a ton of work right there. I had to save that battle for last. Y'all know I had to. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below as well. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. We recently hit 5,000 subscribers. I'm going to do a celebration stream. It's probably going to be in the new season. So be on the lookout for that. I'll definitely make sure to leave a post about it. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And until next time, this is ChillisFM reminding you to always keep pushing forward.